We stayed at Harvest Host for 7 nights and covered over 750 miles. If you've ever been curious about Harvest Hosts, stick around to the end where we'll share our thoughts, costs, and how to sign up. Our first stop on our week-long Harvest Host adventure was to Hangar 25. We knew there was an airport museum, but that was about it. One of the nice things about Harvest hosting is that you get to stay at really unique places that you would probably never hear of otherwise. Unfortunately, due to a flat tire, we arrived after the Air Museum had already closed for the night, so we did miss that. But there were some planes outside for us to see, and plenty of space for us to get the rig parked. As you can see, we had our pick of the spots because we were on the old runway.
Day 1, full week of harvest hosting.
Hangar 25, Big Spring, Texas. Since we got there after the museum closed, we were excited to see that there were some planes on the outside that we could look at. Steele said they reminded him of our experience at Pearl Harbor, where we got to see old battleships, and he really enjoyed that. Reggie also loved having plenty of wide open space to roam around. The other family who was staying there that night arrived after us, so we had the place entirely to ourselves for several hours. We would definitely check the spot out again if we were coming through the area. Am I holding up it? Honey? Or do you have me on that filter?
Day 2.
Seaford Cellars and Wild West Vines.
1 week of harvest hosting. Time to drink. Go ahead, do it again.
Honey?
Yes.
More wine juice pouches?
Uh-oh.
Yes. A little charcuterie with crackers.
Hold it up higher, I can't see it.
Crackers, meats, cheeses, olives, pesto.
Oh, look at that.
It's an entire wine tasting at your own camper. Which is pretty cool.
I don't know if I was going to be helping you or not.
A little first. I hope I can pour it over the bottom of the glass and still leave you some.
I don't think very much.
Got Brandon drinking wine again.
So as we were driving back to our campsite, our Harvest Host Day 2, after eating lunch, we saw this. It looked like we were describing it as a cross on top of a pyramid. Because from a distance in the city we were at, that's exactly what it looked like. It's probably a, I don't know, 60 to 70 foot tall structure, but it's just it's a cross. Very, very cool, interesting piece. It sits on top of a pretty tall hill here, right into the town, so everyone can see it coming in. There were some people here earlier. We think it's more of a memorial for people that have been lost and things like that. But there's a spot over here that Sunny and the kids are reading about. Really, really neat place.
Day 3 Harvest Hosts.
We're at 1693 Distillery in BOONDOCK, Texas. Margarita at a whiskey distillery.
They have tequila too. Brayden and I took a date night in Fredericksburg, Texas, which is known for its German food. There were lots of restaurants to choose from, and they were all pretty crowded. We ate and ate and ate some more. Everything was delicious. Brayden sees fire back here. He just ran to the trailer to get out our trailer fire extinguisher. We could definitely smell it smoking. And there is fire back under the tire. Am I giving you enough space?
I think so.
I'm kind of sitting like Brielle with my legs all over you, so that would start a fight between the kids. We like each other a little bit.
We do.
So day 4 of our harvest hosting experience, we got no footage because it ended up being kind of a work day of resolving all sorts of issues.
When you travel full-time-ish, you should always expect that at some point you're gonna have a blowout, or you should really keep a very strict eye on your tire condition. So when we bought this rig, the tires had some use out of them, not a ton, so we still had plenty of life left in them. Yeah, tread. But we went, I don't know, over 10,000 miles easily between where we were and where we ended up getting the flats.
And we were in the desert. It was very dry. We saw multiple vehicles with flat tires. We ended up losing 2 on the trailer and 1 on the truck. And you saw the one that caught on fire. For a while there, it was like anytime we would drive, we would lose one. When both of us were driving at various points and a whole section off the front of the rig pulled off with the tire, so.
Well, at one point it was, I changed a tire for 4 weeks straight. 1 tire for every 4 weeks. Now, you might be doing math there and thinking, wait, you said 3 tires. Yes, that's correct. We had 3 flat tires. And then on the 4th week, a young man had a tire issue with a little Mustang, and he had never changed a tire before.
So I got to change someone else's tire.
As I'm at the station filling up propane, he says, "Excuse me, sir, do you know how to change a tire?" My response was, "Yes, I do, but I don't want to."
But he had mercy on the poor guy and did change tires. But we realized that, yes, our truck and our trailer, the tires had good tread when we bought them. But because we bought both of them used, we also had no idea when they had last been changed. And so once we started losing them all in that span of a week or a week and a half, we realized we needed to change out all the tires. So day 4, Brandon went into, was it Austin, or we were near Austin at the time, and was able to get all the tires swapped out. The place we stayed was actually a golf course. It looked like a beautiful spot. We were camping in the clubhouse parking lot for this almost like a resort lake community, beautiful area. But something nice there that you don't always have at every Harvest Host is we actually had water spigots. And so we were able to fill our tanks, which was great because it was midweek. We were all due for showers and needed to clean in the rig. And so having access to water was very helpful for that.
One thing that's important on that is just because you see a water spigot though, doesn't mean you should just go hook up. We did ask the management team if it was okay. They said yes, but wait until after this time because there's an employee here that will come harass you if you do it at that time. So.
They did tell us and because it was a community clubhouse, apparently some of the people in the neighborhood are like, why is that RV here? So we did talk to the management. It is an actual Harvest Host location, but that's something to be aware of is if you're in a community like that, there were several cars driving through that space that night too. It was not a remote area. So just something to be aware of when you're making your reservations.
So yeah, that's the reason for lack of footage on the video that you'll see was because it was basically a management day for us to get stuff done. So
RV crisis mode,
yeah.
Which like Brandon said, you're gonna have that anytime you're traveling. When you're moving every single night between Harvest Hosts, that's not the most convenient time in the world. So you might want to do things like that before you're going to be moving every couple of days. Or if you can get to a place and stay there a little bit longer, it's going to make life easier.
For sure.
Day 5 of week harvest hosting.
We're at Bluemont Brewery and Bluemont Vineyards.
Somebody's birthday today.
Yeah, I'm turning 10.
You're turning 10 or you've turned 10? Have you turned 10 yet?
Actually, you were born in the morning, so yeah, you're already 10. If it was Brielle's birthday, she wouldn't have been.
What time?
We celebrated Steele's 10th birthday at Bluemont Winery and Brewery with a wine tasting for the adults and donuts for the kids. Day 6 of our week of Harvest Hosts.
We were at Chaplin Distillery in Belvedere. I can't say it.
Bulvard?
Texas. Bulvard? Might be Bulvard, Texas. We are filming on day 7 because we had a good time on day 6. We're a little tired.
Well, we also were parked in a very tight
We were.
lot, and so Brandon struggled to move the rig earlier today, and somebody was waiting to get in our spot, so we had to leave. So
We
it was
have
the
been,
whole thing.
I think we've been the biggest rig at 2 spots this week, so that they've ever had. So navigated it just fine though.
Yeah, we fit it everywhere.
It's been the low-hanging trees that I've had the problem with driving. So, but yeah, Chaplin Distillery in Bulverde, Texas. Mike Chaplin, great guy, ex-Navy guy. So stop in there.
Also, in our week of Harvest Hosts, we got 2 flat tires, so Brandon has done a lot of that too. So where we don't have footage, it's because we were swapping out and replacing our truck tires.
So that was the golf
Really
course.
tired.
What Sunny's saying is when we stopped at the golf course, we don't have a ton of footage there because I was running errands all day and night to make sure that everything was good. Plus, the other people in the rig needed to shower or something like that, so I had to figure out how to get them water too. But they're clean now.
Next up was Chaplin Distillery. The parking situation was pretty tight, but we were able to get our 5th wheel in there. I will say, if you have a big rig like ours, it may not be the best spot for you to pull in. We enjoyed our time there though. They had a lovely outdoor area full of fire pits for us to hang out after they closed, and inside they even had pie for guests along with the bar menu. The owner of this establishment was also the bartender, so it was really interesting hearing how his dream became his retirement plan. Hey babe, tell me about your oils.
Well, so when people talk about whether you like it neat or on the rocks gives you a clear, different flavor profile because the ice will actually release the oils within the whiskey or bourbon. So you'll get a lot stronger smell with whatever you're drinking. So this is an old fashioned, so it just tastes good regardless.
And I just realized I have my drink on my face. When you don't like whiskey, you get the margarita.
Day 7, 1 week of harvest hosting.
We are at Southwest Farms in Natalia, Texas. Our last stop on our week of harvest hosting was at a farm. This was a beautiful spot to relax, and we got to see the chickens out there too. Reggie did have fun running around in this yard as well. Anywhere he can be off leash when we RV together is a happy place for him. It was a very calm setting, and so it was a great wrap up to our week. We did buy some products from the farm as well. So if you're not a drinker and you think harvest hosting is just wineries and distilleries, don't be fooled. There are so many different options that are friendly for everyone. The kids had never actually seen an old-fashioned rope swing hanging from a tree, so this was a fun experience for them at the farm. It also brought back memories of childhood for Brandon and me, as we were more familiar with swings like this, and everyone got to take a turn. Great times were had by all at the farm. Well, almost.
Quick recap of our week of harvest hosting. We actually stayed 7 nights total. We had a total spend of $538.17, which breaks it down to $76.87 per day. So that tells you right there that you probably don't save money harvest hosting. I mean, there probably is. There probably is a way to do it, but the way that we look at it is the money that we would spend with campsites that we would traditionally have to pay for, you know, anywhere from $30 to $50. Now, granted, you have full hookups typically at places like that, but even in some boondocking situations, you're going to be paying maybe $20 to stay there. So overall, yes, we did spend more money than we would have otherwise, but we got so much out of it.
We did so many fun things. We bought things that we were able to eat and drink or got to go see experiences. If you watched the daily breakdown, you'll see too that depending on where you stay, your costs are going to vary widely. So if you wanted to do harvest hosts and save, museums, farms, places like that are going to be cheaper because there's just not as much for you to buy. If you're at a winery, they're going to try to sell you on a crate of wine, or, you know, if you're at a distillery, things like that. Those places are going to be more expensive. So you probably can do it even less than we do it. But like Brandon said, we look at the experience piece of it. If you're staying at a campground and then you're going to go see a site, eat meals, do those things anyway, you're probably going to spend around that much. So
at least, because
or more.
You'll also have the expense of the campsite too. So for the yearly fee, I think it's $100, close to that or something like that. We'll tell you the number. I'll put it up here on the screen somewhere. Also, a promotional link down on the bottom for signing up. You can save. I'm not sure how much it is either, but we'll get the referral. We'll get the referral link in there for you. So if this is something that you've thought about doing, I guess to sort of sum up what we think of the experience, we love harvest hosting. It's actually one of our favorite things to do. That's why we did a full week of it, because before we had done 1, maybe 2 nights in a row at different locations, but we had never done anything for an extended period. We have the tanks for holding, so we're good from that perspective. For other folks, that might be an issue. You might not be able to go as long as a week, but
we also like them for like 1 or 2 nights on the way to somewhere else. If you've got to cover a lot of miles and you know you're going to need 1 or 2 or maybe 3 overnights along the way, that's usually a great option as opposed to staying in a parking lot or, you know, just
Cracker Barrel,
Walmart. For us, we would much rather stay in a place that's maybe a little quieter. There's only going to be 2 or 3 RVs there max, which that has been fun too. We didn't show it in the video, but we've met other RVers that are at the same harvest host at the same time. And it's really fun to hear everybody's travel stories, and, you know, you're only gonna spend that 1 night hanging out with them. But it's fun to have that social experience too while you're on the road.
Well, you get to hear theirs and you get to tell yours, right? Because people find it fascinating that we've taken our kids on the road.
Yeah, a lot of people are surprised at that.
And so doing something like this with like-minded-ish people. We don't typically see families and things at Harvest Host, which, hey, you should do it. It's
if
a
you're
lot.
a family, do it.
You can save money. But again, the experience outweighs, in my opinion, outweighs the expense portion of it, because you're going to spend that money anyways. You might as well put it into something that you may want to enjoy doing.
Unique and different.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in, like when we were traveling, we were going through kind of some rural areas where there wasn't much to do that we knew of. It wasn't like you were going to a bucket list destination place. And so having fun little things like that to do along the way made that long stretch through West Texas not seem nearly as long as it would have otherwise.
So can you harvest those for a week? If you have the tanks, yes, you can. Will you save money? Probably not. Don't expect to. That's really not what it's designed for. It's designed for putting the money back into the experiences that you would have otherwise, right?
The suggested recommendation is $20 per host.
Is it per person?
Oh, maybe it is
Like
per
per
person.
adult?
Like
Like,
per adult
yeah.
person. Yeah, I don't think the kids, but that's usually the recommendation. But as you saw where we rolled in after hours, we ended up paying nothing because it is a free stay. It's kind of a donation-based thing.
Which we wouldn't, flat tires caused us to show up later than expected. We would have enjoyed going to the museum, and I think it was only maybe $5 per person for the museum anyway. So it was going to be relatively inexpensive, but we did actually want to do that. We just got there too late. So highly recommend Harvest Host. If you've never done it, even for a night, it's totally worth it. Well, let me rephrase that. You need to do it for like 3 or 4 nights to make
pay
it totally
for your
worth
membership.
it. So think about that. If you're going to go out more than once this year, and you know you're okay with boondocking for a night or two, definitely look into Harvest Host. There's another add-on to that you can get called Boondockers Welcome. So there is a full package thing that we have to where we're actually, we've done that before. We didn't on this trip, but for the week, but we have done it multiple times where we stayed at Boondockers Welcome locations where it's literally like mooch docking. Pull into somebody's space that they have set up there, and they have a set number of days that you can stay. You can stay for as many or as they have or less.
And if you need more than a few days, Boondockers Welcome.
Boondockers in an area, right?
In one spot, yeah.
They typically will have some sort of hookup, whether it's electricity, water, something like that. They don't typically have sewer, so I wouldn't expect that, but water and electricity, they'll probably have, and it'll show on the app whether they have it or not and how much that they will charge. So typically we see a $10 to $15 charge for water and electric at a spot. So it's pretty inexpensive for a day stay or 2-day stay for a space that you can have and stay for free.
Yeah.
If you don't need utilities either, it's completely free with Boondockers Welcome. So,
and if you're scared to boondock, try it, because we really have found that these experiences have been worth it. And if it's only for a night or two, you know, that's what the kids and our whole family, we always say, well, if it's only for a night or two, we can probably do it. If it's only for a year, we can full-time travel. You know, like we look at things like that. So if you're scared to boondock, I would encourage you to try it. And a Harvest Host is a great place to do that because you have something fun to do there as well.
You'll also most likely have somebody else there in their rig staying that has done it before. So if you need help, that's a good place to do it. We actually met at the Chaplain Distillery. These guys had just gone on their trip. They just started, so they were picking our brains on a lot of stuff. So yeah, everybody's super helpful typically at one of the Harvest Hosts. So highly recommend. So anyways, yeah, that was a week of harvest hosting. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Do it. Click the link below. Also, click the other things down below, like the thumbs up and the subscribe button if you haven't already. That's super important to us. It helps grow the channel. Did get my drone.
He did get his drone, which 500 subscribers was our goal for that. And so, yeah, the more subscribers we get, the more goals and toys we'll work towards for Brandon, which he gets excited about.
Thanks for joining us this week, and we will try to get the videos posted up. We've had a rough couple of weeks. Spoiler alert, I guess, for a future episode. We got into a wreck. Somebody rear-ended us in the trailer as we were moving things back into the house. So that's why you haven't seen a video for a few weeks, because we've been dealing with a lot of that
a
stuff.
lot of crazy life situations. But yeah, like Brandon said, we will record that. We still have lots of footage too that we've shot in the last few months that we'll be sharing with you as well. So definitely stay tuned, and we will work hard to get those videos out as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Bye.